welcome again to Be Lyric for Tutorial Tuesday. Last time I showed you how to make a canvas board, and mine here is already finished and dry and ready to be worked on. So this time I'm going to show you how to prime it so you can actually get on to paint with it. Because if you don't prime it with gesso, then the muslin is going to be a little resistant to some of the paint, so your paint's not going to actually sink in and get that vibrant, beautiful color. It's going to it's like taking a pen over plastic. It just won't sink in and hold up. So I'm going to show you how to gesso. So first you need a little bit of water, some actual gesso. These come in white gesso or black gesso depending on what kind of background you want to start with. Some people prefer it a black background, some people prefer it white, somewhere in the middle, so you can mix the two. I prefer to start with white on my canvas, so I just have white gesso and a kind of a tub that you can mix the gesso and water in, and some fine sandpaper, because I'll show you why in a little bit. So we're going to start with putting some gesso in here. I've already put about 4 tablespoons in here. And we're just going to add some water to it. 50 water, 50 gesso, but no more water. So here we go. And I'm not actually measuring it, I'm just going to eyeball it. And the main point is we just don't want it to be really thick, but we also don't want it super thin, because then it won't give us that nice surface for our canvas. So we're just going to mix it really well. You can see the consistency. It should be something like that. So like pancake mix. Okay. The key to this is you want to put about 2 to 3 layers of gesso on it. In between the layers, you're going to sand it down. So let's go with our first layer. So the first layer of gesso, I have it down, and if you were watching, you noticed that I only made horizontal strokes, and you want to keep your strokes consistent so that the texture is consistent, unless you're going for a textured background, which I'm not going for. So I kept my strokes consistent, and I also put it over a little box so that I can go around the edges without it sticking to my surface. And my surface is just some newspaper taped down on the table, just so that none of the drippings, get caught on the table. So we're going to wait for it to dry, and then on the second layer I'll show you next. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes and we're checking back to see if the gesso is dry. And it's dry to the touch for the most part, which is alright. It doesn't look like I want to sand anything down, and that's probably because the brush that I'm using is really smooth. The bristles are, and there's certain different brushes that leave a harder texture. So you might want to sand it down if your brush turns out to be that way. Airplane.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
No, it's Superman. No. Not that. Oh no, the light went out. What happened?
I don't know.
Can you still see me in the video?
It's pretty dark. You're very red.
No. We have to redo that segment.
Bloopers. Alright, now let's try it. Ta-da! See, I feel like those always fail us. I don't know what it is with the ends.
The whole time?
Yeah. It's called bloopers. Duh.
Duh.
Alright. You want me to keep recording, or you want me to stop?
Just keep going.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright, so we had some technical difficulties. I wanted to do this outside initially because the sun was setting and it was really nice ambient light. But then while we were waiting for the paint to dry, it got really dark, and I didn't want to move this whole station inside because there's gesso and newspaper and stuff, so we tried to add extra lighting and it failed for a little bit, but we're back on track. So like I said, my bristles were smooth enough that I don't feel like I need to sand anything down. So I'm just going to go on ahead with the next layer. I mean, last time we did horizontal strokes, this time we want to go vertical strokes. So they're at 90 degrees from each other. I just finished the second coat of kind of thinned down gesso for this, so all we have to do now is wait some more. Lots of waiting in this project, so I'll check back with you soon. We waited about another 30 minutes for the second coat of gesso to dry, and it's dried to the touch. Now this time I do see a couple spots that I do want to sand down, so I'm going to go ahead and do that before I put the next coat of gesso on. So I'm just going to roll it up so it's easy for me to hold, because there's only this spot here and this spot here that I saw a little bit of extra gesso buildup, so I'm just going to go ahead and sand it. And you want super fine sandpaper because the point is you want to make it smooth. The parts that I want to sand down look pretty even now, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the third coat. The third layer of my gesso is done, and it looks like I'll be only needing 3, even though I thinned the gesso down with a little bit of water. If you didn't use that much water to thin down your gesso, that's totally fine. It's mainly to help it smooth on better. If it's not that thin, then you can probably get away with 2 coats, but I always recommend at least 2 coats because the first coat, it's just not even enough. So I'm now going to let this dry overnight, and after that I can sand down some more, and then after that I'm free to paint on it however I want. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is the follow-up from my first tutorial on how to make a canvas board. Now that it's all primed and ready with gesso, the possibilities are endless. So I'll see you back next time. Bye.